Tonight on the Black Channel, welcome to the result of the law of unintended consequences. The girls are not okay. The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting super fortress of intelligent black thought. We are the Black Media, and this is the Black Channel, and I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the voice of Black America, the Black Authority, broadcasting to you live from the only historically black college and university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. You are, of course, welcome to join us. And join us you shall, because on tonight's program, I know it's going to seem a little bit off the beaten path, and I know that. I know this is going to seem a little bit different from what I do here, but I really got to talk about this. I have really got to discuss this because Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, if you want to know genius, and I'm not just using that word to be pandering, what you look for when you are looking for true genius is you're looking for individuals who can forecast what's going to happen long before it ever does. That's when you know you're in good hands. You know you're in good hands. You know you've got somebody who's really thought this through. You know you have somebody who's authoritative when they can tell you where the world's going to go years and decades in advance. And as that woman was laid to rest years ago, the prophecies that she laid down about where this society was going are exactly true. Exactly the way she said it was going to go down. Brother Neely Fuller, same thing. Exactly the way he said it's going down. Dr. Claude Anderson, same thing. Exactly the way he said it was going to go down. These are not just soothsayers spewing out things, reliable sources of information. We have been saying for years now and warning for years now that they're chipping away, and chipping away at your identity becomes a way of dominating you. And I saw several things here. I saw several things that stuck out at me. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, and if you don't follow me on Twitter, this is your opportunity to go over there and sign up, by the way, if you don't follow me on Twitter. I'm wondering here, the women got removed. You know, there was a group of folk who were telling themselves that somewhere along the line that they were going to establish themselves as a group outside of black society. Negroes are always looking for a way to opt out. They're always looking for a way to graduate outside of black society. They're always looking for a way to get themselves some special dispensation here. It's not good enough to be black. They want to be black and black or. And it really just shows the hatred that they have for that. And I'm just saying tonight that we are going to have a crack down on that kind of behavior. That is off code as hell. And the people championing that have opened up the door to their own demise, because now some of them are figuring out too late what the trick bag was. We were trying to warn the so-called feminists, and on your college campuses, black feminism became its own subculture, and then eventually the culture. Black feminism became its own subculture, and lo and behold, the feminists were in charge, indoctrinating the girls to say anything that quote-unquote destabilizes the men, that's a good thing. Anything that does that. Anything. If it destabilizes, quote, the men, then that's right where we need to be. Right there. And the whole time didn't realize they were opening the door to their own destruction. I'm there on Twitter and I'm taking a look around and I'm saying, you know, these folks are not thinking this over very well. They're not thinking it over very well. Because if they were, they would realize that they're letting in their own destruction. They were telling themselves, well, we can't be replaced. We can't be replaced. Why, that would be silly. That would be silly. We can't be replaced. Then they woke up one day and realized they were. They woke up one day and they realized that everything the men have been telling them was exactly what's come to pass. And I want you to understand where this is really going. I've been talking about this for years now. I want you to understand who the real targets are, because you need to be very, very clear about that. You need to be very, very clear and aware of who the real targets are. You play this game at your own peril. You play this game at your own peril. You are not going to be able to get away from it. You play this game at your own peril. What they did was they told themselves, well, don't worry, we'll destabilize the men. And lo and behold, now they're being told that you don't even have anything. Before you even, they don't even actually have anything. Nobody even watches the WNBA, but this is not about the WNBA. This is about symbolism. This is about symbolism. This is about the biggest, most recognizable symbol right now would be the WNBA, even though it doesn't actually have any real power. It's being subsidized by the men in the NBA. And yet, they're telling you, wait now. It's not good enough that the majority of your women's league is LGBT. That's not good enough. We need to get rid of the women's part. The women part gotta go. We are specifically attacking the women part. You see, I told you all, you were wondering, how's white supremacy going to get their women back in line? Oh, very easy. They're going to tell them, you know what? What you want to do is destabilize the men, Brother Neely Fuller. White supremacy takes both sides of an argument. Why, sure, you can destabilize men. Down with those men. As a matter of fact, forget them altogether. We can replace them. LGBT. Yeah, forget the men. Get out of the way. Make room. We'll make allies with the LGBT and move you aside. Hook arms. Yeah, move out of the way. As a matter of fact, we LGBT is not enough. LGBTQIA plus. All the letters of the alphabet incoming. Next thing you know, you found yourself among white men. Only now, these white men classify themselves as women, something you did not predict was going to occur. You never anticipated and you didn't predict or foresee that there would be a good number of white men who would say, you know what, I can be a girl too. Now that was what you didn't count on. You didn't count on that happening. You just figured, well, we'll go ahead and dominate them. This will be you had no idea. The fellas be like, oh, we don't care. Those are just labels. We're cool. And then you've watched as what's happened over your lifetime here. You see, I'm in my 40s. When the word transsexual used to have a very specific definition. It meant someone who has transitioned, and transition required surgery. That you've gone under so-called gender reassignment surgery. That was what being transsexual used to mean. And yet, in the system of white supremacy, a word can mean whatever the hell they want it to mean. So now, transsexual simply means I feel like a female. I'm no longer required to get any surgery or anything. I feel like a female. I identify as a female, so I have already made the mental transition. And just like under affirmative action was pitched as being restorative justice for black people. They then snuck in minorities. Next thing you know, white women. Well, if black people are a minority, I'm a minority too. They look where the benefits are going. They make sure they craft the language in a certain way that gives them a loophole. Next thing you know, bam, status quo, back again. Black is a minority? Well, I can be a minority too. Women are getting benefits? Okay, I can be a woman too. A whole bunch of folk are getting their damn wake-up call brutal as hell. When you want to see the definition of insanity? Let me show you all the definition of insanity. You take a look here. Michaela McGee's post here has gotten 2,422 likes. This guy right here, first and foremost, Chris Williamson, Emmy-nominated SNY personality, somebody here trying to keep their little sportscasting job. Boy, I'm telling you, all the little fellas out there who shave all their body hair, yeah, he trying to keep his little media job. Don't think for a moment that Stephen A. Smith wouldn't do the same. It won't say the same damn thing. Don't think for a moment that Stephen A. Smith won't say the same damn thing. Absolutely. I mean, take a look at that. First of all, he's not even a female. Who the hell are you to weigh in on this? Talking about that. They are pronouns. It won't be the end of the world. So people who have no interest whatsoever, but if there's talking and they don't have an interest, they must have an interest. So it can't be a constructive one. So what is it? Of course, people are asking sensible questions. If they're just pronouns, then why add them? You're not adding them unless you're trying to do something. This clown here, you're wrong. Didn't say what they're wrong about. You all got to understand something. I want you all to understand something. There are a whole bunch. Oh, I'm going to get to that in a little bit. Just understand there's a reason why you hear things like that. There are people who are biologically female who might not identify as women. Given the number of masculine presenting women and women who are not heterosexual in the league, there could very well be people with pronouns other than she, her. Just something to consider. You have a bunch of chicks here. They never played sports. They were never good at anything. And they want to see everybody else suffer because they never could play. They were never good at it. They never actually got any acclaim. They never actually got any status out of it. Hell yeah, they would love to see the whole damn thing burn. You have to understand the Tarana Burks of the world who never got the benefits and the perks of being a female. They're like, man, to hell with this female thing. Damn this. I ain't never got any benefits from it. So they just become these ultra vitriolic activists attacking everything. Gotta be watchful for these scorned children. You have to be watchful for these scorned children. Very, very angry little people. Not attractive, look like bulldogs in the face. They're very, very upset. They never got any of the benefits of being a female. They never got any of those perks. So they're like, man, damn this female thing. Anybody can be a female. I ain't got nobody opening doors for me. Well, you look like Fred Flintstone. I mean, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Well, damn that. We need pronouns. Pronouns. I don't give a damn about being no female. Let the dudes in. I want you to understand where that comes from. For the individuals who never got any of the perks or benefits of being a female, that includes these dudes over here, moist or otherwise. Yeah, there's a reason why they're okay with destroying female sports. Whatever the females have, they're okay with that. Now, I want you to notice something else here in particular. Some of the folks here woke up, but they woke up too late. I want you to recognize some of the folks that you see cheering this on. You're going to see a good amount of individuals. Yeah, there you go. A good amount of individuals here. You're starting to notice something. I'm seeing zaddy loving energy coming out. You start to see things like that. Yeah, certainly. It's all part of the plan. Now, as bad as that was, you take a look at the original tweet itself. Only got 861 likes. Only 861. But I want you to watch something on this page. This is the original poster here. This weird little person only has 172 followers and strikes me as being someone who's transitioned, but we will see. Now, you have a bunch of other folks here who have no real accolades in real life, but they get on the internet, and womanhood ain't worked out for them. They don't get any of the perks. They don't get any of those things. Womanhood hasn't worked out for them. Not at all. It hasn't worked out. But if you take a look down this list here, I'm seeing some moist energy coming here, by the way. I'm picking up some moist energy here. I don't know why. I'm picking up some moist energy. Don't know where that's coming from here, but I'm picking it up. I'm feeling it. I smelled the baby oil. You take a look here, another individual. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, hell. Foreign flag. Huh. Okay. Super mom doesn't say anything about a husband. From New York. Foreign flag in that New York area there, so let that tell you. From the Bronx, by the way, not even the good part. But she's here to let you know womanhood hadn't worked out for her, or at least she's drunk the Kool-Aid they brought in. Now, Mr. Grant here makes a very good point. This is why women's sports aren't as big as male sports. Look at the focus. Not in competition, but on checks notes, the pronouns of the players in the women's league. Very good point there. Now you don't need anything. And I just thought you should know. When you take a look, you start seeing a number of different things here. I couldn't help but notice on this page here the sheer number of white women who are all thrilled for it. White folk thrilled for it. Couldn't help but notice that. I couldn't help but notice the number of white women. They're on board with it. White women, bed wenches, soggy moist folk. Did you all notice that? Did you notice that? In case you missed it here, this Jill Peterson, another Susan. This isn't even a Karen, it's a Susan. My grandson has long curly hair. I get all the time how beautiful she is. I simply say thank you and he's a boy. Not difficult. What I'm saying is, have you taken a look at the sheer number of white folk who are bound and determined to push this agenda? Did you notice that? You noticed how many of them are just bound and determined to do that? And since they know that when white folk catch a cold, black people catch pneumonia, then it's not very surprising that they realize if enough of us jump on board, then eventually you're going to have more individuals sit up here and jump up. Yeah. And by the way, that name there, if that's his name, okay, that doesn't sound foundational to me. If that's his name, that don't sound it to me. All right. And this one right here, of course, we've already covered that. So you can see the types of folks who are going for that. And I just thought I would point that out, that, by the way, yeah, you're seeing a number of them. And I think that really underlines what the real agenda is. You see, when you go into the arenas where there are women, anything that can destabilize black women, well, that's where the focus is going to be. That's where the focus is going to be. Just understand, you're not going to see that kind of stuff in academia. You're not going to see white women sitting up here championing that in academia. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Now, just understand, I mean, you get to a point here where these folks are letting you know that, yeah, if womanhood hasn't worked out for us and if whiteness hasn't worked out for us, let's see if we can throw in the trick bag and get something else to work out. Let's see if we can get something else to work out. And some of your bought and paid for Negroes thought that they were going to get a pass. They thought that they were going to get a pass. They thought they were going to get a pass. They thought wrong. No less than Keisha Bottoms B, former mayor of Atlanta. This chick can't get a glass of water or a token to ride the bus. Boy, I'm telling you, I know she's like, damn, this ain't nothing working out for me this year. I mean, she couldn't even pull the "don't you know who I am" card. Don't you know who I am? Keisha Bottoms B got kicked out of the Capitol Grill at Perimeter Mall in Atlanta. I've been there. Oh, Keisha Bottoms B, she was like, "Don't you know I'm friends with Joe Biden?" They were like, "Yeah, Joe called us in." I don't know this ever. The former mayor of Atlanta. Ladies, all I'm going to say is if the cellulite makes it look like cauliflower, okay, that might be the reason. I don't know. But the bottom line is, yeah, oh, Keisha, baby, you might want to go put in your resume at Magic City. It ain't going so well out here, ma'am. When you got a whole restaurant, they know who you are. It's like, yeah, somebody else. Yeah. Womanhood ain't working out for her either. Because that's what this is supposed to be. She's appealing to all the women. It's supposed to be, oh, take a look at all the women that are going to stick up for me. First comment on there is from a white woman talking about, well, it is the dress code. A news reporter, I think it is. Said, yeah, it is the dress code. How many of you dumbasses out there are still holding out hope for some sisterhood? How many of you? Oh, it's going to be an ugly conversation here tonight. It's going to be really, really ugly. If y'all like what you're hearing, hit the likes button for me tonight. If I've offended a bunch of you, you can go ahead and leave. But by the way, if you do like what you're hearing, hit the like button for me. Keisha thought things were going to be lovely when she left office. She thought at least people would forget about it, give the election a little bit of time. I'll kind of be a celebrity. You can get 20,000 likes on Twitter. You know what you can't get? The appetizers at the Capitol Grill. That's what you can't get. You can't get the appetizer menu at the Capitol Grill. I know you can't get that. I have on leggings. You know what you didn't have on, Keisha? You didn't have on a tuxedo. That's what you were missing. You see, that's the place you created, Keisha. You can't sit up here and try to appeal to chivalry and act like because you're a female, you should be getting some special dispensation. Remember, you were one of the chief architects who proposed this bullcrap. You turned the black Mecca into the LGBT Mecca. Then you went to the restaurants to try to go flex your black female credentials and found out that what you helped those white folk to, with your dumb ass to build, yeah, you're literally on the outside looking in. Remember, I've updated the lexicon for you all. White supremacy breaks its tools before it even uses them. Keisha spent all this time telling you that being black don't matter. It's LGBT. Paint the rainbow. What the Skittles slogan? Taste the rainbow. Okay. Yeah, never mind. See the rainbow. Let me edit that. Don't want to start a feeding frenzy. Oh, Keisha thought she was going to get a special dispensation. She thought that she was going to get some special dispensation. She thought that she was going to get some celebrity status. She thought that when all this was over, well, she could just go ahead and be part of the paparazzi. She was going to be part of the cool kids. She's going to have some. Oh, no, you're a pariah in your own damn city. You're a pariah in your own city. Literally couldn't get anything else happening. This is what happened to the great Keisha Bottoms. Talk about embarrassing. Talk about embarrassing. This is what happened to her. So just in case anybody was wondering whether or not Keisha Bottoms made it through the election, whether or not she was going to be okay, just in case anybody thought that that was a minor thing, no, it wasn't minor. You know what you don't see? You don't see any of the Democrat politicians coming to her aid. You don't see anybody swinging in talking about my good friend Keisha. Nobody's talking about an investigation. Ain't nobody saying nothing. Did you all get that? Nobody's saying nothing. You know why? Because Keisha, you're a black female. You're a black woman. And you presided over transforming Atlanta from being a mecca for black people to being an LGBT stronghold. So guess what? You might be freaky, as we heard, but apparently you ain't freaky enough. You ain't doing enough. You wanted to neutralize the value of being black in Atlanta and did the work of your white Democrat masters and replaced the value of being black with something else. Congratulations, you succeeded. Now you've marched out into the city thinking that you're going to call on some special privileges for yourself and some special status for yourself, and you don't have any. She walked right up in there and got her ass turned right the hell back around. I'm the mayor. No, you're just a former patron. Out you go. I'll put this on Twitter. Baby, you can put this on HBO. Guess what? You still won't get a meal here. And she's going to spend all her damn time trying to argue, it's because I'm black. You got to understand, it's because I'm black. Here's the problem. It doesn't even matter if you say it's because you're black. And even if you could prove it, you've told the world that the priority now in Atlanta is LGBT. So guess what? You thought that you were making a second-class citizenship for the rest of us. See, that's what Keisha thought she was doing. She thought she was creating a second-class citizenship for the rest of us. That's what she thought was going to happen. She thought we were going to look up and there was going to be a second-class citizenship for all the rest of us, but that Keisha was going to be sitting pretty. That's what she thought was going to occur. Keisha thought that she would be sitting high and mighty and everything else would be great for her. And don't worry, all the rest of these Negroes will just be out here by themselves. They'll just be out here by themselves. But not me. I won't be by myself. You know why? Because you don't understand, I got connections. I got connections. See, y'all just regular Negroes, but see, Joe Biden is my buddy. I'm friends with Joe Biden. I'm friends with the President of the United States, or at least I like to say I'm friends with him. He was the one who told me you better not run for re-election. But yeah, I'm friends with Joe Biden. That's got to be worth something around here, isn't it? I'm not like the rest of these niggas. Not me. Can't you see my friends? I know power. She sounds like one of those pathetic people in the movies right before they get whacked. I know powerful people. I know powerful people. As they're dragging you away to go bury you in the ditch. She thought she was selling out all the rest of us. She wound up selling out herself. She thought she was selling out all of us. She wound up selling out herself. And to all the females all this time who've been carrying the water for white supremacy in the form of feminism, LGBT, and anything else, you thought you were laying the trap for all of us. You found out you were laying it just for yourself. And so now I'm asking a question here tonight. Did the women get removed? Fellas, we got some things we got to talk about. Okay, fellas, this is going to be an unsavory discussion. By the way, I guess I've offended a bunch of people because my likes aren't very high tonight. I'm glad I have a good number of viewers tonight, but my likes aren't very high tonight, so very clearly I'm upsetting some people. Fellas, we gotta have a talk right quick because the ladies, a lot of the females out here, they think they're gonna establish some other than black status. So I want to talk to the men right quick. Fellas, we gonna have to start doing background checks. It is not enough anymore to just rub a chick's hand and figure you home free. You gotta start doing background checks. You're going to have to start running background checks, profiles. You're going to have to start, you're going to have to start getting school yearbook pictures. You're going to have to be like the FBI, getting hired for the FBI. You got to go back. Okay, I got to go look through your yearbook. I got to see documentation. I need to see some pictures of you when you were a child. Let me go through your medicine cabinet. Wait a minute. I don't see no tampons in here. What kind of racket you pulling? What kind of scam you trying to run? I looked in the medicine cabinet. I looked under the sink. I looked in the closet. Not one tampon in the house. What racket you running? I do see a lot of razors. I noticed a lot of razors. I did notice that. Fellas, you're going to have to check yourselves. You're going to have to check yourselves. You are going to have to. You're going to have to get that together. You cannot take any chances now. You're going to have to be aware. The rules are out the window. You're going to have to do your due diligence. I mean, you thought it was rough when they were telling you, okay, don't have unprotected sex. The definition of unprotected sex has then gone to a whole new level. Unprotected now might mean not bringing your taser. Think about that for a few moments. How many of you remember the movie Stargate? You remember the movie Stargate? The fellow who played the alien Amun-Ra, remember he was also in another movie, the Crying Game? Oh boy. I'm just saying, fellas, we've come a long damn way from RuPaul. I just don't want anybody sneaking up on you. I'm trying to help. Because back in the day, you didn't used to have doctors to help with this. They can get doctors and the hormones, makes their skin feel different and stuff. You got to watch out, man. You got to watch out. Well, Jason, I'll look for an Adam's apple. Man, the doctors will shave that down now. Oh, they're going all out. They're going all out. Just imagine that for a moment. You think you're going to go sneak off somewhere with somebody? You're like, okay, well, I'm with a chick, so I'm okay. Then you realize, I'll be damned. You like, let me pull my hand back. Where you going? I'm getting ready to leave. You can't go nowhere. Well, I'm not feeling like sticking around here. I'll catch up with you later. Where you going? Oh, damn. This broad kind of strong, ain't she? Next thing you know, you in a life or death MMA match. I'm not setting up nothing here. I'm just saying, fellas, you're going to have to do a whole new world of due diligence. A whole new world of due diligence. But there are some things that are not so funny. Now, I'm not a parent. I don't have any biological children of my own. But I got to tell you right now, for those of you who are, you sitting up here going to Walmart, you go to Target, your little 7-8-year-old daughter goes walking into the girls' bathroom, and then you see some dude looking like Hercules Hernandez walking in the bathroom behind her. Talking about, I'm a girl too. You send your 7-8-year-old daughter to the public bathroom, and then some dude looking like Jeffrey Dahmer or John Wayne Gacy go walking in, striding in, right behind them. Now at that point, it's not a joke anymore. It's all fun and games until that kind of thing happens. Now you think about that for a few moments for those of you who have children. Because when you think about cases like Polly Klaas, for those of you who remember Polly Klaas, and what Richard Allen Davies did to her, you have a society run by sick degenerates. And what they've done is they've weaseled their way into politics. They've weaseled their way into media. And your political and media apparatuses are run by the deviants. It's taken them decades to establish a stranglehold, but they're the ones running it now. Them and their sexually perverted flunkies and lackeys. And a lot of folk are not going to like what I'm going to say here next, but it's damn true. If you think that the sexual histories, oh hell, I'm about to get in a lot of damn trouble tonight. Well, if I'm going to get in trouble, I might as well go all the way there then. Folks, if you think the sexual histories of the people that you vote for are irrelevant, you couldn't be more mistaken. If you think that the sexual histories of the people that you vote for are irrelevant, you are sorely mistaken. Where they've been and what they've done and who they've done it with, that does matter. Yeah, it actually does matter. Yeah, if you got a politician who's been stretched out by 10 or 12 white men, she been slave playing and every damn thing else. Hello, I'd like to be your vice president. Why, sure, I'd love to be on your Supreme Court. Well, you know, back in the day, folks used to stuff dollar bills in my thong there. If you think that's harmless, you better think again. You better think again. Ketanji Brown Jackson sat there in front of the damn world and said she doesn't know how to define what a woman is. This is what happens when you cannot define what a woman is. And all the sycophantic jackasses on Twitter who were sitting up here co-signing that idiocy. This is what they want. Why? They're like, I don't give a damn. I don't play basketball, nor do I watch women's basketball. Let's be very, very clear about that. The so-called women up here talking about changing the WNBA needs to use pronouns. They don't even watch basketball. They don't even watch this stuff. They don't care. They don't care at all. They don't watch it. They don't participate. This is just one more thing that they can co-opt and overtake and then go hold it to the side of society and then they move on to the next thing. They don't watch any of this. They couldn't tell you if the WNBA was still in business. They couldn't name 3 teams in the WNBA. Couldn't name the 3 leads in the WNBA on 3 teams. They couldn't name the 3 point guards on 3 teams in the WNBA. Couldn't name them. And yet they want you to understand, okay, when you think about females in sports, we got to infiltrate that. If you think the sex habits of the people that you vote for or support are irrelevant, you are wrong. It is absolutely prescient. Absolutely. It is not a throwaway issue. This is critical and key. Because, listen to me, people. Listen to me. Grabbing this microphone like a white supremacist neck. The sexual habits of the people you vote for will soon be yours. The reason that their sex habits matter is because the sexual habits of the people you vote for will soon be yours. Ketanji Brown Jackson is okay with whatever come through the door. She's cool with it. And that is why she was chosen, because that's going to be the wedge they use, so it'll be okay with you too. Whether you like it or whether you don't. Kamala Harris's sexual habits, they now want to make those yours. Ketanji Brown Jackson's habits, they now want to make them yours. They now want to legitimize them. It's not good enough for them. It needs to be legitimized for you now. Because you were always the end game. Getting you was always the end goal. And I'm just saying now, they're just about there. So if you thought that this was harmless, if you thought it was a game, if you thought it was a joke, if you thought it didn't matter, you have another thought coming here now. You have another thought coming. Don't expect Bowling Ball Martin to talk about this. Don't expect Essence. Hell, those magazines are going to tell you we don't need no women's sports. They're going to tell you don't need them. They're going to tell you everything's all right. They're going to tell you everything's fine. They're going to tell you what are you upset about. They're going to tell you it doesn't matter. Yeah, you know why it doesn't matter to them? Because even your so-called male writers at these places, hell, they looking for a zaddy to lay up with too. They're looking for a zaddy to lay up with too. No wonder you can't get them to acknowledge basic common sense and biology, because they're like, hey, you gonna mess up my chance to get a zaddy. I'm trying to get a Leia Thompson. You gonna get in my way. You gonna mess up the bag for me. Recognize where this is really going, and where, well, not just where it's going, but where it's really at. We're going to take a very brief non-commercial break, and when I come back, I'm going to open up the phone lines. We're just going to get straight into it here. I'm going to open up the phone lines, and we're going to discuss how the women got removed. We're going to discuss how they got removed. We're going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. This is the Black Channel.
I am black first. I am empowered. I am on code. I am motivated. I am a proud foundational. My name is Noria Sellers, and nothing will come between us. Buy the sci-fi novel, Nothing Will Come Between Us. Order today at Amazon and Google Play. Visit spiritofo1811publishing.com. Our story, our family.
Join 6zeros.net, a forum built to discuss all things relevant to black people. On our forum, a check doesn't mean you're famous. It means your blackness has been verified by our staff.
Sorry, Chad.
We also have premium merchandise with same-day shipping on most orders. And when you're ready for some dope content, check out the 0 Hour blog. Don't just sign up, post. I'm having a really good time with you tonight.
I'm having a good time with you too.
Want to go somewhere private? Just for us?
I like that.
Great. Meet me at 6zeros.net. Black owned, black operated.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
The future of legal betting is finally here. Place a bet using CashApp with Bitcoin right over the phone. Unlike with traditional gambling sites, every bet you place with us, you're guaranteed a 50% probability of winning. All of our bets are one-on-one against a real person and never the house. We offer some of the most unique bets in the industry. Bets like, will LeBron James win his 5th NBA title? Will Joe Biden be elected for a second term? Will Tesla be worth $1 trillion by the end of 2022? You can even bet on if it will rain tomorrow. You can literally bet on any future event. Text the phrase I bet to the number on the screen, and I'll reply with a list of all our available bets.
Are you tired of being overcharged and forced into paying a monthly subscription for your Mac and Windows software? Well, if you are, currently we're having a 50% off discount on all the latest Mac and Windows software, such as AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Photoshop, Microsoft Office, and much more. Our 50% off discount will be ending soon, so be sure to text us Need Software to 323-407-8214. That's 323-407-8214. We aim to please, so expect 24/7 technical support, the latest premium software, instant software links delivered to your email, and PayPal's buyer's protection guarantee.
when you need a reliable influx of capital to grow your business. Spectre Capital Finance provides fast, individualized working capital loans with lines of credit to take your business to the next level. SpectreCapitalFinance.com.
This is The Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening. And we are going to go ahead and open up the telephone lines here now. So the number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. We're having a discussion tonight about, did the women get removed? What happened? Now the females are starting to wake up and say, hey, they're taking the word woman out of everything here. I thought it was going to destabilize those men. Now they're saying, hey, you need to remove the word woman. Now they're like, okay, them little fellas they used to play with, it's like, okay, well, they thought it was just going to mess up the men. Well, yeah, you need to let LGBT in. Ha, you fellas going to get it now. Okay, they starting with you. So go ahead and give us a call. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. And if anybody out there works for Uber Eats, Keisha Bottoms wasn't able to get into the Capitol Grill there in Atlanta. Keisha wasn't able to get in the Capitol Grill. So if any of y'all out there work for Uber Eats, see if you can go drop her off some fettuccine Alfredo. Let me get caller from area code 773. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Malone.
Okay, he's got me playing in the background. Call back when you figure out what you're doing. Caller from area code 601. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, brother? This is Jeremiah from Jackson, Mississippi.
Jeremiah Jackson, and what's on your mind?
Brother, you picked some hell of a topics, man. See, I coach mixed martial arts. I think I said that before in boxing. And I got a female boxer. Ain't no way in hell I'm letting her get in there able to do. We're forfeit. We ain't doing it. And anybody think that, sex doesn't matter or something like that, you out of your freaking mind, look up the best female fighter ever. It's a sister named Lucy Riker. She was from Netherlands or Denmark or something. She was 54-0 combined boxing and kickboxing record. And they put her in there with a average guy, an average fighter from Thailand, and she got knocked out. And they always put these black sisters in there, including in the UFC. They've had black sisters in there going against transgenders, getting their hell beaten out of them. And you also spot on when you refer to, people's agenda dealing with sex. People are motivated by money, by their money, by their safety and security, and by sexually. Those things there definitely impacts your ethos and pathos about how you go about your day. But women should not be fighting dudes or playing basketball against dudes, and these feminists are getting what they deserve, brother. I hate to say that to them, but no, I don't. This is idiot what it is. They shouldn't be having no hard legs, fighting no sisters, or playing basketball, or running track against them, that kind of stuff. See, they're upset because black people have more testosterone than anybody else on the planet. That's why they didn't let that chick of fish in South Africa or Kenya said she had too much testosterone. How she had too much testosterone to let grown-ass niggas in there fighting chicks, bro?
Well, the thing is, what the lesson of this story is when you allow self-hate, daddy issues, when you allow yourself to get put into a trick bag, you know what the old saying is, when you dig a ditch for somebody else, you better dig two. One for them and one for yourself. And that's kind of what we're seeing to come to pass. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 757. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Tanya from Virginia Beach.
Tanya from Virginia Beach, and what's on your mind?
Yeah, I missed most of the first part of the broadcast, so I hope I'm not repeating something you said. But I watched a YouTube short the other day, and Bruce/Caitlyn Jenner was telling his ex-wife that you could change your birth certificate. And so then I was in shock, and then I looked it up on Google, and the majority of states now, you can amend your birth certificate. So
yeah, I mentioned that last.
Can't even check the.
I mentioned that last week, as a matter of fact. Although I might have been saying on another broadcast I host, but I mentioned that last week. That, by the way, yeah, they're going so far into this because they understood very early on that people like Jason Black could be like, okay, well, we can actually just run a very quick check and verify all this. So yes, this is about scrubbing your trail. This is about rewriting your whole history, rewriting the official documents, so that even if somebody goes looking backwards and whatnot, you won't be able to look at the documents. You'll have to look at something else. But you won't be able to look at the documents to get that. So it's literally a situation where, now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing they can do to get a male body to act like a female body does. But what they're hoping, I mean, this is literally what's going on. They're hoping that they can get you to drop your defenses long enough so they can get you unclothed. And just understand, you will be very vulnerable. Now, that's one thing for the men. That's damned uncomfortable. But let me tell you something else. That's another thing for the women. Because it's all fun and games until you realize, by the way, this person that you think is a guy, they may be, they may not be. Think about that for a few moments. Well, Jason, what do you mean by that? Because sometimes females like to experiment. 25% of y'all do that in college. It's one thing when you've made a certain amount of calculus. It's another thing if you didn't make a calculus for what you're there for. Oh, I thought this was a girl like me. No, not exactly. Oh, yeah, and by the way, here's the crazy part. You think white males now are able to commit assault against females, sexual assault, and get to ride off into the sunset? You think that's the way it is now? Wait till they get an LGBT pass for doing it. Wait till they can get one of those. Think about that for a few moments. Like, for example, your daughters go to school and stuff. They get in college. You know how girls like to go to the club with each other. Okay, you've had your little LGBT girlfriend over here all this time. And then one night, they, since we got to use a pronoun, they decide to make a move on your daughter. Yeah, she's with her 4 girlfriends at the club, but one of these kids does not belong here. And next thing you know, your daughter is called off in a corner somewhere. One of her girlfriends decides, let me make a different type of move. And your daughter's not going to be able to do anything. And even if she does, here comes Ketanji Brown Jackson to say, well, that's a girl and it's not assault and they just got into a fight and that's it. But ma'am, this girl has male genitalia and did all kinds of things to me. Yes, but it's a girl, so that's it. And you'll be sitting there trying to argue with Ketanji Brown Jackson that this is not a girl who just sat here in front of the whole damn world and told you, I can't define what a woman is. So it's all funny until that kind of thing happens. Then it won't be funny anymore. And remember, they don't ever do it just once. They'll have a string of them that they do that to. It's all fun and games until that happens. Then it won't be funny. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get a call from area code 601. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good evening. This is Cheryl from Pearl, Mississippi. Thank you for taking my call.
Cheryl from Pearl, Mississippi. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. Yesterday I was, I just happened to be on Google and just so happened ad popped up advertising that at Jackson State University, a historically black university, the drum major is now a Hispanic. I hit the roof. We are in control in that kind of an institution and in that environment. And we make decisions like this, knowing we have people. That's where the Hispanic person may have learned their skills from, right? And they sit up there and made a Hispanic person tell me something. This is historical. I'm not excited at all about it. I'm not. And we sit up and we do things like this because in all actuality, we do not have any self-love. in our race. I know white supremacy has done a number on our mentalities, but this is, this is deplorable. We don't hold nothing
your
sacred
HBCUs
anymore, sir.
haven't been run by any credible black people for a long, long time. You got the Michael Eric Dysons, the Dr. DeWeevers, the Melissa Harris Perrys, the Mark Lamont Hills. That's who's running your HBCUs now. So these are individuals who are Democrat Party operatives and sleeper agents for the dominant society. But no, you don't actually have an HBCU anymore. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 267. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Jason Black. This is Tammy from Williamsport. I'm glad you brought this topic because I remember I actually brought it up a few weeks ago, and you actually said the same thing. I'm seeing so much of this. I'm in the military, and there was a guy who now they laying down rules for like these trans people, and there was a young man who was doing like a conference, I guess, and he was very passionate, and he said, you're not to question these trans, you're not to make them feel uncomfortable. Basically, they are trying to make us accept it or think it's an okay thing. Like he basically was saying to us, if anybody make any off comments, and it doesn't even have to be directly to them. It can be like you talking to somebody else and somebody passed by and hears you making a comment about like the trans. You can get in trouble for that. This is the military. And it's crazy because I remember I asked you where was this going, and you said, now it's right now it's a norm. And this just reminds me of end day prophecy, where man wants to be woman, woman want to be man. And I mean, everything is just exactly as the Bible lays it out.
Well, definitely what they're doing there now in the military, that's interesting because black people don't have those types of protections. You don't get that pep talk for black folk in the military of what you can and can't say about them. That has never been part of the protocol, but take a look at how quickly this jumped up. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get caller from area code 415. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, this is Denise in San Francisco.
Denise in San Francisco, and what's on your mind?
I saw Dr. Frances Cress Wilson, a couple of months before she died. She sure was right. America seems to be trying to create gender confusion specifically for black people. Okay? And this whole nonsense reminded me of the time I went to the NAACP meeting 20 years ago on an Easter Sunday in the back of the church. They wanted us to vote for gay marriages. And I was saying to myself, wait a minute, where is this going to lead? Now we see.
Yeah, as if that's a priority for them to have. Thank you very much for giving us a call here. Just understand, look, people, the reason why we've been warning you about this buffer class strategy for so long is you have to understand the buffer class strategy is really defined as 4 words. Anybody except black people. Doesn't matter. That includes, now here's the crazy part, that includes black people who identify as black and. If you're a black person who identifies as black and, congratulations, you are a buffer class. You're an individual who's told yourself that you're going to get some special protections, that you're some segregated special group. So if you say I am a black feminist, black woman, black man, black masculinist, black immigrant, as soon as it's black and, you are a person auditioning to be a buffer class. Because at the end of the day, everything before that suffix is neutralized. You're trying to figure out how to neutralize that black. Well, I'm a black immigrant. See, I ain't black. I'm black immigrant, you understand? So there's the reason for that. You don't have to be non-black to be a buffer class. So long as black is not the priority, then that's it. You're useful. You are useful as long as you agree to that. So just understand what the buffer class strategy is. So when I'm black, LGBTs, okay, because white society knows that LGBT matters to you more than anything else. Okay, there's the wedge. So yes, you're a member of the buffer classes if you identify as black with anything else. Caller from area code 312. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason, how you doing? This is Pat from Chicago.
Pat from Chicago, and what's on your mind?
So, yes, Jason, I can't believe it, man. It's like you're a prophet of the Lord. I literally earlier today was talking to my brother about, we just started talking, and we were talking about, I don't know if you heard about the controversy going on with Benzino and a transgender woman, and we were talking about the situation with Benzino. And Benzino was making a lot of critical points about, what does a straight guy supposed to do? But this is what I told my brother. I was like, listen, I said, coming from what they say, a cis female, I said, you fellas better just start asking her, excuse me, how old were you when your cycle started? I said, because every female who was born cis, C-I-S,
okay. First of all,
I said, if they
let me say something here. Let me say something here. There's something we're gonna have to get straight for you big city people, folks who live in the large metropolitan areas, especially ones that have really blown up in the last 30 years. But in the large metropolitan areas, let's be very, very clear. That term cis is that's like the N-word. That's a slur. That is not a that's not a positive thing. That's something that the LGBT community created and hung on people. That's not something that comes from biology. There is no biological designation for that. So that is a political term that was made up by the LGBT constituency. So I want to let all of you know here, no, the way you push back against this kind of thing is not by adopting their language, it's by standing firm on yours. You are a woman. Now, if you want to designate, the only distinction you need to make is if they try to say, I'm a woman too, yeah, but you're not biologically a female. You're not a biological female. If they do an X-ray on you and an X-ray on me, you're going to see totally different things.
Right. But you better ask about that cycle. I said, that's what you got to do.
Well, here's the problem. Anybody can lie about a cycle. They can lie about when they started it. Now, you know what they can't lie about? They can't lie about that they still got one. Now, that you can't lie about. Let's be very, very clear. Dude's not going to be running around with tampons. He's not going to do that. He's not going to be doing that.
That's right.
He is not going to be doing that. That's the way it's going to be. But let me be also very, very clear. Some of these hot spots, Atlanta, Chicago, New York, some of these hot spots where they like to hit at and whatnot, dudes got to be real, real careful about where they're going at in these places. And the fact that you have to be careful at this level, that's the whole reason why you got to stand firm. Think about the future you're passing on to your children. In 50 years, can you imagine how crazy it's going to sound that you have people running around talking about, I don't know how to define what a woman is? Think about playing this back in 50 years. It's going to sound absolutely insane. But for the folk who go along and start changing their vocabulary and changing their words, just think about what this is going to sound like by then when you get to that point in time. So definitely, like I say, if we're looking for cues and markers and things like that, it's like, oh, I want to avoid trouble in that circumstance. First of all, dudes the era of skirt chasing is over. Truth be told, AIDS got rid of that. So the era of frivolous skirt chasing is over, and really that's okay. It needs to be. You can't. The hookup era just took a real major hit. The hookup era just took a real major hit. Okay, I met somebody, and 15 minutes later we're naked somewhere. Okay, yeah, it's time to make a change in procedure. The hookup era is officially done. Or if you are dealing with somebody and they're still engaging in hookup culture, just understand they just told you how they get down. Don't take that for granted. They just told you how they get down. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 646. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Onan from Queens.
Onan from Queens, and what's on your mind?
Yes, sir. So I do want to preface what I'm about to say with I am bisexual, and I'm only bringing that up because I understand where you and the B1 community stand as far as that's concerned. And with that said, one of the most effective ways for the dominant society to hold on to its power is being able to manipulate the language that we're able to use. And when you're able to do that, you effectively cause discord within the society, and people are not sure as to what words to use in order to be politically correct. And so this has an effect specifically on Black people. When you look at, let's say, the Black Lives Matter movement, for instance, ostensibly it pertained to Black people, but when you delve more into it, it went more towards the LGBTQ community. And I think that's important that we keep that in mind because it essentially takes away what the purpose of the movement was for in order to advance a value system that doesn't benefit Black people specifically, but it rather goes towards disadvantaged people or, LGBT.
Well, certainly
And,
anything that
I just wanted
changes
to
the
see that.
discussion is the real issue. Anything that changes the subject. The whole thing is, how do we change the subject off of Black people? Anything and everything. Immigrants, climate change, crypto, LGBT, viruses, you name it. Anything and everything to change the subject, so long as there anything that is willing to allow itself to be used to change the subject, that's the strategy. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 240. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, this is CJ from.
Okay, take your phone off of speaker. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to take your phone off of speaker here. Folks, anybody on speaker, AirPods, or anything like that, take those off.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that, Jason. But I'm just calling to say these people are funded by these rich white people. They like putting all the Black people in the front to make it look like that's what's popular, because Black people dictate popular culture. If you into feminism and all that bullshit, they're coming for your spot. Because the LGBTQ community doesn't get held accountable for shit. If you look at what happened with Benzino, that's a hate crime if you're outing somebody out of the closet before they're ready, because they have to present that to their family. But there's no backlash from the gay community on it. And it's a bunch of hypocritical shit.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 330. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Rudy from Akron, Ohio.
All right, Rudy from Akron, and what's on your mind?
As far as everything goes, I think it's really just a false sense of reality that's going on. People like to escape their reality to try to mask things that's going on. So as far as the WNBA goes, it's like, even with going into like the whole campaign they had as far as being paid the same as men, like, it's a false sense of reality because you don't bring in the revenue. You don't have the TV contracts. You don't have the advertisement. Right now, you have millions of people watching NBA playoffs. Nobody even knows when the WNBA playoffs starts. And that goes back to the women. And so with them bringing up the whole pronoun issue, I feel like it's just a quick money grab for them to try to generate money in that way, but it's not something that's feasible because you need people to constantly come back to generate that. And the false sense of reality, as far as what I see with some women, not all, because you do have women that do realize what's real and what's not real. But the false sense of reality is you could just act however and do whatever you want. And just because I feel a certain way, that means that I should have things happen for me. And that's not how it's going to work. If you look at these salaries for these WNBA players, most of them are better off going to nursing school. Like, you don't even make the same amount of money as an RN. So it's just, people just don't realize what's really happening in the world. They just get everything from news cycles. And, you know, another thing, it's a medical grab, because it's a money grab from the medical, because Jennifer Pritzker is one of the LGBT, a trans person that puts the money behind all of these issues, because her family is heavy in pharmaceuticals and medical. That's why they're trying to make it okay for people to include in basic health care that they can get their sex changes, because
well, you know, there's a number of
now.
folk who would like to see that kind of thing occur. However, you've actually brought up a very good point that I wanted to get to here, which is to follow the money in a lot of these regards. So I want to talk about that right quick. Thank you very much for giving us a call. This gives me a very good segue into something else I want to discuss here. By the way, if you saw this story here, well, so some folks keep doing this. And yeah, one woman glued herself to the damn floor. Now you got another woman who sat up here and chained herself to apparently one of the goalposts here at an NBA game. Chained herself to it. It's like, okay, what's the deal? What are we doing here? What you trying to make happen? What's happening? Well, you read the story here, because the story's not very long. You read the story and it says, NBA playoffs. Protester interrupts Timberwolves Grizzlies by chaining herself to basket. Now I'm going to skip down here a little bit. And she chained herself to the basket here. I'm going to skip down halfway through the story. It says, why did the protester chain herself to the basket at the Timberwolves Grizzlies game? According to ESPN's Ross Gold Onwunde, hope I got that right. The protesters shared a common cause with the other bizarre protest of the week at the Timberwolves playing game. In that case, the animal rights protester tried to glue herself to the court by her wrists. It appears chains were much more effective than glue, as the first protester was escorted out almost immediately. Neither were as effective as the oil protester, who managed to zip tie himself by the neck to the goalpost at the Premier League match last week. Both protesters wore t-shirts reading "Glenn Taylor roasts animals alive," apparently referring to alleged practices at the outgoing Timberwolves owner's chicken farm, as laid out by a statement from the group behind the disruptions. So, folks, they are upset. The owner of the Timberwolves is selling the team. He's doing the Donald Sterling. He's already selling the team. And they're still showing up to protest. But wait a minute, listen to this next paragraph. If it sounds insane, he's already selling the team. They're protesting the man who's already selling the team. Here comes the final paragraph. The group is calling for the sale of the Timberwolves from Taylor to Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lore be expedited, with Taylor immediately stepping down from day-to-day team operations. And the last sentence here of the damn story: for the billionaire to donate $11.3 million in federal subsidies to public health charities and animal sanctuaries. Well, now it all makes sense, doesn't it? Now it all makes sense. For some of the slow bus kids in there, I've already read the article here. You're slow. They want to expedite the sale, which really is garbage. The team is going to get sold. It is that last sentence. It is that last sentence. That last sentence is the important part. Did you pick up that last sentence? They saved that last sentence for the very, very end. They want the billionaire to step down from day-to-day operations now, even though he's already selling the team. Oh, no, they're like, oh, wait a minute, but while you're still here, we're going to see if we can shame you into giving up a bag. Give us $11 million in money from them federal subsidies you getting. Give us $11 million. $11 million. See, they don't do these things without a reason. They don't do these things without a reason. Just understand that. See, everybody out here is looking for tangible benefits. Everybody out here is looking how they can get a tangible benefits. They don't want your goodwill. They don't want your good wishes. They don't want a pat on the back. They don't want an attaboy. They're like, oh, no, break bread. Break bread. You got to break bread. So that's what's going on at the NBA. In the WNBA, you've got outright chaos going on over there. You got outright chaos going on over there. And then in the NBA, they trying to hit you from both sides, man. They're trying to hit you from both sides. But I want to stay on topic here tonight. Just understand everybody's looking to see how they can steer things in the direction they want it to go in. So I just wanted to throw that in there for tonight. Let me get caller from area code 618. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Jason. My name is Miriam. I'm calling from East St. Louis, Illinois. And hello?
Yes, you're on live. What's on your mind?
Oh, okay. Okay. You touched upon so many great points tonight. And along with what you just said, definitely follow the money. So they want to shame them to a bag, for a bag, simply just so that if it's not animal rights, then I guess the gays have it all. And they pretty much want us to become fourth place citizens. And these bumper classes really are, whether it's the gay people, whether it's people, tethers, whether it's oil, whatever, wars. They created these things. They make sure that they do plans to create these things. And like you said, they pretty much plan anywhere from 150 years in advance on how that they can control this narrative. And these lesbians, these so-called feminists, they really are the Trojan horses here, trying to destroy the nucleus of the family of black man and woman and child. Now they also want to hide the fact that your child can act and even start procedures into getting a sex change. But then you ask Ketanji Brown, what is a woman? And this Oompa Loompa can't even tell you the definition of such, which in itself is just so ludicrous.
Well, it really does tell you who's leading the agendas in these areas here. Black folk for a long time have just been putting on autopilot. And just the civil rights generation led with the philosophy of, well, if they black like us, then they understand what we're going through. And they're going to prioritize that. We're more sophisticated. We realize that, oh, no, these are handpicked operatives specifically because they are against us. So that's the real thing to keep an eye on. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get area code 929. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, my name is Daryl from Chicago.
Daryl from Chicago, and what's on your mind?
Jason, another excellent broadcast as always. Oh boy, this is you mentioned a handful of broadcasts before about this situation that was coming up, and it was so powerful that you said it. And I was telling my daughter about that because some situations happen where she teaches school. She teaches school in New York City, and she was telling me about this guy that's there. And I was telling her, I said, listen, remember when I told you about one of the shows that the Black Authority was on? She said, yeah, Dad, I remember that. I said, yeah, you need to listen more to that, because this is the next part of the agenda that they're coming at us with. And God bless you, Jason, for saying that you've been right on point with that one. You called it out like it was, like it actually IS is. We thank you for that, because she understands this now. She really understands this.
Well, definitely for those of you who have children in particular, because here's the real thing. The real thing is to make them completely comfortable with it in the schools, to flood them and inculcate them with it as children so that they're completely unassuming. And they'll be sitting up here arguing with you. What's the big deal? I don't know. What's the big deal? If you turn your children over to these killing fields, they will be telling your children that they were never slaves. Ain't no white supremacy.
Yes.
The boys can be girls. They have essentially deconstructed the last 100,000 years of civilization that we as black people have built, right down to acknowledging the basics of biology. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get area code 940. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, my name is Brittany, and I am calling from Houston, Texas.
All right, Brittany from Houston, and what's on your mind?
I am actually a teacher, and I will say that most of my students are Latino, my whole school. I will tell parents to just pay attention because they are already implementing this in school. I've told people that the critical race theory, they have switched that. They don't believe us teachers. I haven't taught nothing about Black history. They have used that to throw in a bunch of stuff. So now the school is doing Trans Visibility Day. I have students that sixth graders that identify as trans and lesbian and bisexual. And they are, I personally and many other teachers believe that they have switched critical race theory and used the Black community and pushed it to the Black community. So
it was the wedge.
History really was something else.
Yeah, it's the Trojan. It's what it always is. It's the Trojan horse. They always come in claiming that they're here to, quote, help Black people. We're here to protect Black people. And then you turn around and find out, oh, there's a trick bag. It's a Trojan horse. When next thing you know, you look up and they've smuggled in something else along with it. And the real goal for the children is to get them to experiment. You got a whole, y'all saw the program I did here a couple of weeks ago here. This fella's a substitute teacher and whatnot, and the creepiness going on his Facebook page is just off the damn scales. And yet that's what you have in your schools there now. So being an absentee parent and you're about your life and you trying to run the streets and whatnot, and well, don't worry, the schools will be your babysitter. No, you don't. The schools are overrun now with deviants, and you've got to watch out for everything that's going on. If you're a Black parent, I consider it to be negligence if you are not. And Louis Farrakhan talked about this decades ago at his speech at Malcolm X College, when he said that if you send your children to these killing fields, when they come home from school, you need to talk to your kids and debrief them about whatever they have been told that day. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get called from area code 706. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Sammy from Spring Lake, North Carolina.
Sammy from Spring Lake, and what's on your mind?
Hey, man, I just want to address what the last call was talking about, how it's taught in the schools. I'm a freshman in college at Fayetteville State University, HBCU, and there's like a bunch of ads going around with like LGBTQ propaganda, and even teachers actually teach this to students in the schools. So this is not just being socially encouraged, it's being taught as curriculum.
Oh, and yeah, in your so-called conservative states, by the way. and in your so-called conservative states. And let's be very, very clear. They're pushing back on, quote, critical race theory. They're pushing back on teaching about white supremacy. They're not pushing back on the LGBT stuff, though. With the sole exception of Florida, but they're not really pushing back on that in those areas. Oh yeah, and by the way, they're letting the illegals in by the boatload in those places too, by the way. By the way, just anything and everything. Right now you are experiencing an all of the above strategy. All of the above. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 301. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller from area code 301 has been abducted. Caller from area code 415. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason. How you doing, man?
Okay. Caller from area code 904. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Sean, Jacksonville, Florida.
Sean from Jacksonville, Florida. What's on your mind?
I just want to briefly remind people of and I know we're not picking on the WNBA, but this one young lady who was in the WNBA for I think like 8 years, she said that the reason why she retired was because that the heterosexual women were constantly being bullied. And they jumped down her throat, man, for saying that. It's like she let the cat out the bag. So, and then also I see how they're grooming the Candace Parker, who just came out and said her and her wife are having a baby. Now they're trying to make her a spokeswoman for that kind of thing. So anyway, our girls are definitely going to be losing. And from my understanding, it appears that black women kind of have a problem with masculinity and being feminine. Have a good night.
Well, certainly, if you think you're going to outsource masculinity to the dominant society, you got another thing coming. You have another thing coming. Caller from area code 415. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Okay, he's holding a seance. Caller from area code 843. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Jason? This is Steph.
Okay, brother, your phone is always going in and out every time you call in. I don't know why you think that's a cool thing.
Okay, how about now?
Okay. Next person breaks up the program's progression here. I'm going to start getting funny. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Stephen. From Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay. This fella here is calling me on his 1902 Alexander Graham Bell Spin Master phone. Try your name one more time.
Okay. That's all right. It's all good. You have a good night, sir.
Okay. Y'all, we're going to take up a collection for some of these folks here. They're calling us from their AT&T brick phones, their Motorola brick phone from the 80s and whatnot. They haven't upgraded yet, so I mean they're making it through life. I understand. They're just making it through life. Caller from area code 510. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason, this is Will calling out of Hayward via Oakland, California.
Okay, Will, what's on your mind?
Hey, so I got a couple stories for you. I was listening to your program, long time listener, and I actually work in the corporate world, and so like I'm always constantly getting emails about sexual harassment, sexual inclusion, all kind of things. Don't discriminate, and also like I work with a transsexual, so it's like a lot of times I get the side eye because it's just like I'll be talking or something and I'll be like, oh yeah, what's up, bro, or something, yeah, man, or blah blah blah, and I'll say something, and she'll look at me and she'll look like she'll get offended, and it's like I've actually known this person for like a few years. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay,
almost
now
Oh,
since college.
let me make sure about a few things here because you said she. Now, is this a
Yeah.
Is this a biological female or is this one of them new females?
It's a new one. It's
all right. Is that new?
I mean, I don't
is
like
that new model? Is that new model of female? All right.
yeah. Pretty. I don't like hating, but it's like at the same time, I've known this person for years. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like an insider. It's like, you know, and she's like off getting surgeries, so it's like she gets more and more, I guess, not feminine, but it's like she gets the traits of being a female. It's kind of weird to think about. Like, for instance, when she first got long nails, that it was weird for me. Like I almost couldn't deal with it. Like I kept, like she would tap them on the desk, and she sits right next to me, so it's hard to like, you know, she taps them on the desk, and I'm like looking. And I'm trying not to look disturbed. I'm trying to be cool, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, this person is a good person. We work together. We're actually, like, I've worked with both sides of that person. So the before side and the after side. So, you know, it's like I be trying not to hate.
Yeah, it's like okay, it's like there's this unmissable thing sitting next over here, and it's like okay, they trying to rewire your brain so that this abnormality is somehow you're just gonna be knuckled under. This is gonna be normal, no matter what you think. This is gonna be normal,
pretty much.
And let's be very, very clear about this. This is not enforced by the state. People, listen to me. This is not being enforced by the state. Nowhere, no how, anywhere. Dead names, people's pronouns, that's not being enforced by the state. That's not law. These are the private entities doing this. So when you talk about Apple and AT&T and whatnot, this is coming from the private sector. It's not the government threatening your job. The governments are not doing that. The corporations and the business sectors are the ones doing that, not the government.
Yes. I'm saying I got 2 emails from 2 different bosses. One was higher than the other, and they're both telling me pretty much the same thing. Be nice, treat her like a her, and make sure you don't abuse the terminology around her or whatnot. And you can't really, like, you could ask her questions, but don't get too personal kind of thing. And it's like I try to, you know, and I keep it cool and everything. I just, you know, we work together and we
have the real question is, have you put in for your transfer?
Well, actually, we're getting ready to close anyway. So
I'm about to say, because you bull jiving around right now. It's like, okay, you trying to figure out how to rewire your brain, and can I move my seat a little bit? And okay, I'm trying to figure out how to use. They sent you an email. You need to send them an email back. Yes, I need to transfer to the Delaware office. Can you transfer me to the Vegas office? Is where I'm trying to go.
Yeah, well, we'll see. And the other point I wanted to get on real quick, Jason, is my own. Right now, I'm having a situation. My mother, man, she's FBA. She's a great woman and everything. But as soon as she started going to college, she started talking all this craziness. And, you know, what if you have a son? And what if he wants to wear a tutu? And what if he wants to do this? And what if he wants to be like a girl? And I'm looking at my mom like, can I leave my kids around you anymore? Like, I don't have any kids, but
okay, brother. Well, go ahead and finish your thought, and then I'm going to ask you a question.
All right. So it just seemed like ever since she started going to basically Cal State. But it seemed like ever since she started going, she started getting real, like, just basically heavy with the feminism. And, you know, and I respect her, I love her, and I understand some of her points. But, you know, it's just like, you have a son. Like, why are you tripping this hard? You know what I'm saying? She damn near cried when I told her I didn't want to date a transgender. I'm like,
okay, well,
you don't understand.
First of
I
all,
know that's a man.
Okay, well, first of all, what does your father think about that?
My dad's he really doesn't really care. He's not really on the whole.
Sir, is your mother married?
Yeah, she is actually.
Okay.
She's one of those lucky. She's one of those lucky ones.
Is your mama married to Will Smith?
No, she's not that. She's not that lucky.
Okay,
she got married twice.
Okay, well, it sounds like your mama is married to Will Smith, is what it sounds like. So, bottom line is, this isn't something that just jumps up one day. She been like that. And it doesn't sound like your daddy is too masculine to begin with. So, like I say, she been waiting. Womanhood hadn't really worked out for her the way she would like. If she's going back to school, that means she needs the money.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Okay, but brother, okay, let's not do that.
Just turned 70.
How old is your mama?
She just turned 70.
She's just turned 70 and she's going back to college.
She's on her third year.
Okay.
Almost third year.
How much?
Like the little.
Sir, how much does your mama make a year?
I would say, cause she just got this job with the state.
Oh boy.
It's like around 50 an hour.
Man.
Something like that.
It sound like
in the 70s or 80s.
If she's making if she's making $80,000 a year in California and she's 70 years old but she's going back to school, that means the money ain't right. You ain't 70 years old going. You 70 years old, I'll be damned. You're 70 years old. You supposed to be collecting your SSI and making sure your hip don't pop out. And she's talking about going back to classes. Dude, the money ain't right. So what I'm trying to tell you is I started off the program by making the point that for these women for whom womanhood didn't work out for them very well, but man, at this point here, she's 70. She's just like, look here, let me see if I can find me a zaddy waddy. Let me go find me a waddy to hang out with if I can. She's in desperation mode, and clearly she doesn't trust your father to be able to solve the problem. She's 70 years old, but clearly she ain't dependent on him for that. So she's just like, look here, she's making her problems your problems. Just because she's desperate for a man doesn't mean you are. So that's the solution to that. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Yeah, I mean, it's some of these folks, it didn't work out for them. They ain't looking for a zaddy, looking for a zaddy, a waddy, whatever in the world come through the door. Anything. Calgon, take me away. If he'll take me, I'll take him. Caller from area code 305. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason. It's Lorenzo from Alaska. How you doing?
All right, Lorenzo from Alaska. And where at in Alaska?
Anchorage.
All right. What's on your mind?
Not much. Just a quick question. I was trying to figure out if I had the right CashApp code because I wanted to make a donation to the Black Channel.
Okay. Well, it's $the Black Channel.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I saw it in there, but I didn't know if that was you. Thanks, Jason. B1.
That's me. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Yeah, I guess he thinks my mods are trolling or something. I didn't know if that was you or not. Your mods might be trolling. No, they're not. Caller from area code 323. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Brother Jason. This is Brother Elijah calling out of Los Angeles.
All right, Brother Elijah out of Los Angeles. What's on your mind?
I got a quick question. It's pertaining to tonight's subject. A lot of the stuff that we're seeing today with the men transitioning into women, I have a question. A lot of the stuff that a lot of the Negro feminists bought into, do you think a lot of them are, in your judgment, a lot of them are getting what they deserve because they wanted to be so caught up in American society rather than just maintaining a strong black family structure?
Yes. Long story short, yes. I mean, because remember, you don't have to buy off everybody. All you have to do is get 10%, man. They've always known this. We don't have to get everybody. All you have to do is buy off a critical mass, get a critical mass confused, and then next thing you know, that group of people is running around disputing simple, silly things, common sense things. Not because you got everybody, but because you got enough. Next order of business, you infiltrate the schools, the colleges. So when people are handing off their children to you from grade school, they're assuming that the rules that applied in grade school and the limitations that applied in grade school will apply in college. And meanwhile, you got Tarana Burke and Mark Lamont Hill sitting up in front of the damn class teaching your kids. So there's where it goes from there. You start making assumptions of how safe the environment is, and then you find out it's not very damn safe. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 904. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Jason. This is Joseph calling out of Harlem.
This Negro sounds like he's getting drugged from the back of a car. Try again.
Can you hear me?
What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Okay. He is currently being accosted. If anybody sees a fella out there fighting with tinfoil and a man dressed in a paper thong, that might be him. Caller from area code 770. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay. Sounds like some of the folks here tonight are hitting the meth, and then they're picking up the phone. Either that or they're currently in a bar with somebody who is transitioning and they're losing the fight, basically. They called me. They should have called 911. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here since it seems like we're having a number of folks who are having difficulties here right now. But folks, like I say, welcome to the new normal. If you thought it was safe to go outside, you thought wrong. If you thought it was safe to go outside, you thought wrong. And this is just the beginning. Those of you who have children, you need to be extra super vigilant. Extra super vigilant. You better be. It ain't no joke. It's not a joke out here. And even more is coming. This is just the beginning. Even more is coming. So as black people, we have got to mentally and emotionally make sure that we have ourselves. Nation building starts between your ears, and mentally and emotionally, you've got to have you got to hold firm to your identity. Anybody trying to sell you on the idea of assimilating, this is all the more reason for you not to. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program here on PayPal or Cash App. Thank you, Mr. Richburg, Andrew L., that's my dude, Keith, Stay Positive, Eddie N., and everybody else who's contributed on PayPal or Cash App. Thank you very much for your support here tonight. We appreciate that. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the haven of intelligent black thought. We do this every weekend, over 138,000 subscribers and rising. We are not a little thing. Click that red subscribe button, click that yellow notification bell. Join us every weekend as we bring you the news, information, analysis you'll receive nowhere else. If you have not been to our website, blackchannelfilms.com, go there now and check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work, 7 a.m. Gentrified Race War. All available on DVD, on streaming, on Amazon at blackchannelfilms.com. That's blackchannelfilms.com. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.